How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Hirschlanden. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, Welcome! Here you are in the heart of a village of Hirschlanden and Fichtenberg, somewhere in the state of Baden-Württemberg. On the edge of the Black Forest, inspired by real places, the region, always green, often offers plenty of pastures as well as fields of all sizes. Many farms are dedicated to raising dairy cows, but not only that, everything is possible in these places. Here you will find 54 fields, 20 meadows, 14 farms and properties, and one forest area. Train system, multiple points of sale, production modified and adapted to the map. No sugarcane or cotton. German license plates. You can use the buildings when purchasing the corresponding plots. All decorations on the farm or buildings can be sold with the exception of the biogas plant, as well as some fences and electrical poles. Have fun. There are mods required for this map, starting with the Bavarian Farm Pack by Bernie CS, the Meadow Fence Pack by Cayman, Barn by Leo, Old Barn Package by Farmer 5 Tom, Cow Farm Pack by Camelos 0397, Landsberg Farm by Bernie CS, Rayback Farm Buildings by Bernie CS, Pigsty with Garage by Leo, Lower Bavarian Farm Pack by Bernie CS, Old Grain Mill by Bernie CS, Schwabenhof Pack by Bernie CS, and this map was created by Flacco Farmer and is 474.99 megabytes to download. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. And we start out down here, almost dead center of the map. We start out by owning farmlands number 51 and 86. 51 is our main, is our starting field, but it has no product in it. And 86 is our main starting farm with our kind of sleep triggers. It doesn't encompass the entire starting farm, though. It's kind of subdivided out. Farm prices do vary. If we take a look, see this one here starts at 47,000. Got this little bit sliver here for 47,000. Got a little bit bigger, 147,000, 41,000, 51,000. Got this little itty bitty one for 29, and so on and so forth. We get bigger at 200,000, 108, 169. We get a little bit bigger up here for 291. Big old grass area for 173. 270, and a large forestry area here for $157,000. You cannot purchase all areas in the map. This kind of whole outer periphery is not purchasable. So this big chunk in here, and there's a little chunk right here in the dead center of the map here, which is kind of like the town area. No animals to start out with. Contracts are available on this map. No production chains to start out with. And there are no collectibles on this map. If we take a look at the mods specific to this map, starting out under the buy menu here, we have nothing under the buy menu. But if we take a look under the build menu, starting out under buildings, there is nothing under sheds, nothing under silos, nothing under silo extensions, but under containers, we scroll out to the right, you will see the Hirschlanden mod down there at the very bottom. These are mods that are specific to this pack, or to this map. Under tools, nothing under tools, nothing under farmhouses. We take a look under productions, under factories, scroll to the right, you'll see several Hirschlanden mods that are specific to this map. Under selling points, oops, there we go. You'll see a couple here as well. Under greenhouses, you'll see one here, mod specific to this map. Nothing under orchards and nothing under generators. Let's see, under animals, there is nothing at all under cows, horses, pigs, sheep, chickens, bees, or others. Under decorations, there is nothing under fences, lights, or others. And then under landscaping, we have several additional painting swatches, but we have no trees or plants. So at this point, I'm very far away from any starting equipment, anything that will get me around the map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport to the main starting farm area, and then we're going to pick it up from there. So let's go ahead and get over to that. And here we are at our main starting farm. Let's look off in this direction. So because we're here at the starting farm, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. Under the buy menu and owned items, under medium tractors, we have a Massey Ferguson 7S155. Under trailers, we have the Welger DK115. Under cultivators, the Horsch Toronto 3FX. Under seeders, the Nordstein HK25 and S3030. Fertilizer spreaders, the Amazon ZATS 3200. Mowers, we have the Sepnusel F240. Under tedders, we have the Pottinger Alpenhit 4.4H. Under windrowers, we have the K-brand GA4731. Under balers, the Pottinger Impress 125F Pro. And under weights, the Agco 650. And that is it. So let's go ahead and take a look around at our starting farm. So because we're here, I'll go ahead and show this on the map as a kind of closer view. So we were here, we kind of teleported over to here. Now if I zoom in really close, you'll see we own the house area where our sleep trigger is. We don't own the land where our equipment is stored, right here out in front. And the field across the street, that is our starting field. So it's a little bit of a weird setup that you don't own this to start out with. But it is what it is. It's not a big deal. So some of our equipment stored up in these barns here, as you can see. Our main sleep trigger, walking through the little path here, is right here. And that's it. That is literally it. Not a lot going on here on the starting farm. So we're going to go ahead and hop in the tractor, and we're going to start making our way around. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop off this weight. There's no reason to have it. I'm going to start out by going right and going left. Now coming up here, a very short trip up to the main shop area here. We've got our gas station right off to the side, shop trigger, and repair trigger right here. Hop back in, heading down the street a little further. We're just going to come up to the corner here. Right about here. So starting out in the far side, here we have the Mueller Carpentry. For $30,000 you can purchase this. And our input for our products is here. Wood cell trigger here, and output right here. Behind me, this is the Fittenberg Chocolate Factory. For $25,000 you can purchase this. And we have our inputs right here and our outputs under the awning right here, as well as here. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So it just dawned on me. This is likely the chocolate output here. There's another output over here, and I believe that's related to this next one here, the spinnery. $60,000 to purchase a spinnery. We have our input right here, but there is no output around here. If we walk around, see nothing around. So I'm guessing that that is the output for the spinnery right across the street. So very, very nice. Cool. I'm glad I was able to find that. Let's go off in this direction, though, and take in some more sights. Now we're just going to go through the rows of trees here until it opens up. And we're going to stop right about here at our next production point. This is the grain mill. For $45,000 you can purchase this. We have our input here and output right there. And now we will head down to our next point of interest. We're just going to follow this road a little ways until we get over there. Now, there are quite a few purchasable plots of lands. I'm going to refer to them as a farm number going forward, as I typically do on my map tours. So the reason I'm kind of pointing this out is because there's some of these areas where there's going to be just a animal building associated to it. There's going to be several animals associated to it, or there could be a sleep trigger and animals and silos. Like some things are going to vary throughout the different areas here on the map. So I didn't want it to be confusing as to why I'm referring to a chicken barn as a farm rather than just the chicken barn. But this is going to be farm number 2. This is our first purchasable plot of land. If we take a look at the map, we started out here, came over to our main starting farm here, went around and saw the sleep trigger. That was pretty much it. Came down the road, went to the gas station, shop trigger, repair trigger. We then saw the Mueller Carpentry, the Fitzenberg Chocolate Factory, as well as the Spinnery. Came down this side street over to the grain mill here, then continued down over to here, farmland number 85. We purchased this for $233,149, and I do not have enough. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and borrow as much money as I can because we're going to need it. Let's go ahead and borrow 500,000 just like so. And now we buy that. You'll see now we get some triggers and pop-ups that come up. So starting out here, we have our cow barn. So let's see, I believe it was in here. And there it is, right back here. We have the cow barn. We have room for 80 cows. And let's see, all the various triggers are, we have our feed trigger here. Open this gate here. I believe this is the slurry output here. Come around this side. Now we do have a silo that is attached to this too. So output here, input is here for the silo. You can see down at the bottom right hand corner it says silo is empty. Let's see, where are all the other triggers? Are they tucked away? Why am I not seeing all the other triggers? Huh. Not seeing a milk trigger, not seeing a slurry output trigger. That is... that is... I just realized I'm not seeing all the triggers. So yeah, this is either... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a slurry trigger, and then back here is where the milk trigger is. Wait a minute. That's the milk trigger right there. So... That's, I think, is the milk trigger right back here. We can open the gate. Yeah, so milk trigger, silo's empty, silo output. So maybe that's the input for the silo is off to the side and it's just not clearly labeled. That is an input right there. Maybe with an output above it, it's just not labeled properly. So, yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, got a wardrobe trigger here and a sleep trigger right here. And now, let's go hop back in the tractor. Also, let's go ahead and sell this off because we need that money. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn back around, go up the driveway that we came down. And make our way out to the main road as we continue to follow this around. Now that we're back out to the main road, let's go ahead and make a right. And then we'll turn down here to this area here. So coming up here to my left, this first bay right here, this is the Egerhandel-Fitchenberg cell point. Behind that is the train silo. Input and output for your trailers are right there. Going around the back side over here, we have a rent train trigger right there, and our input and output for our train is right over there. So now let's go ahead and get turned back around. And now we need to do a little bit of backtracking. Gotta be careful with that gate there. It opens rather slowly. You got to be like right on top of it for it to open up, and you go in there too fast, it's going to send you flying. Unfortunately, I know from experience. So now we're going to follow this road back up, doing a little bit of backtracking here. And coming up here, instead of following the main road off to the right and continuing to backtrack, we're going to go down this dirt track, this little 2-track right here. As we continue on down and see the town in the background over there. And now, up here, we're going to make a right and start heading back towards the main starting farm. We're going to take in some of the things that are just to the kind of northwest of it. So coming up here to the left. I'll go ahead and just cut in there. To the left and to the right is the main starting farm right there. Now here, on the left, is the sawmill. Come up over here. Can purchase the sawmill for $100,000. We have our output for wood chips here. We have our input for the wood here, wood cell trigger here, and output for our products are right there. And across the street is going to be farm number 3. So if we take a look, we were here, came back out to the main road, came down and around where we saw the Agri-Handle Fitzenberg cell point, the GLW, which is the train silo. This is the trailer portion of it. This is the train input and output for the silo, and then a rent train trigger. We then backtracked all the way out to this area here, came up and around past the main starting farm, over to the sawmill, and now here, farmland number 87 for $121,110. Buy that, and we have a sheep barn that is available to us, and that is everything on this particular farm, quote-unquote farm. So we have room for 45 sheep. Feed goes here, and I believe that is our feed trigger, this kind of checkered box here. And if we take a look around, I believe... Let's see, where is the wool spawn point? Again, that's another thing that I was having a hard time finding, is the spawn point for wool. I don't think this is the spawn point for wool. This seems too small for the wool. So tucked away inside, open the gate maybe. No, that's bedding. Huh. I am not seeing a box for the output of the wool, so I'm not 100% certain what's happening here. But also, I'm not seeing wool as an output for the bottom right-hand corner there. It's just saying food, health, and animals. So, let's do a little experiment here real quick. And okay, it says wool up in the top right-hand corner. So my guess is that it's going to spawn somewhere. I'm just not 100% certain where. Now let's go ahead and sell off this property here. There we go. And now we have a fair bit of driving to do, because we have to kind of make our way all the way around the kind of outer border of the map here. But it gives you a really nice opportunity to see kind of the backlands of this area. The rolling fields as far as the eye can see. It is very, very lovely. We got a bunch of these wide expanse grass fields out here that some of them are purchasable. Up here to the very, very north, that kind of outer border that isn't purchasable. I'll be honest with you though, it's kind of a shame, because there's so much area that is kind of outside of the purchasable area that really is going to be kind of constrictive of what could happen to this map, what could be available to it. everything to my right is not purchasable. To my left, though, is. So yeah, you get a fair bit of property. You do have access to a lot of land. But look at all this. It would be really nice to have this. Now, one other thing I'll point out is that that is a very, very rough transition, and likely the reason why you can't purchase the kind of outer periphery is because of how rough that transition outside of the map world appears. So that's kind of why I think that exists the way it does, but that's just speculation and a guess. So now we'll head over here. And make a left. Now we're coming up on our next points of interest. You'll see down in the kind of, I won't call that a valley, but into that little nook down there, that's where we're heading. So we follow it through the tree line here. And now, coming up here, we will stop the tractor here. Over here, we have the animal dealer, this little icon right here. Now, you can purchase your animals directly using this icon here, or as you saw me earlier, using the icon there at the barns and pastures that you have all throughout the map. If you utilize this icon directly, whether here or at the barns and pastures directly, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and delivering them for you, and it's going to cost you. To save that money, go ahead and bring an animal trailer to this location, specifically to this location, and load directly into the animal trailer. Deliver the animals to your pens and pastures yourself, and you'll save that money. Now, to kind of elaborate as to how much you're talking about here, for an adult cow, you're talking $100 per adult cow. If you're buying a lot of cows, that's going to add up very, very quickly. Now over here, we have the animal dealer sell point, and that's it for right over here. Head down the road just a little ways. Make a left and a right. And right here we have the biogas plant for $220,000. You can purchase this. Our solid input here, our liquid input here, and our liquid output, aka digestate, is right there. And now, a couple bunks off to our left there for silage work. Now off to my right is going to be our next farm. This is going to be farm number 4. We'll stop right here. If we take a look at the map, we were here at farmland number 87. We came all the way around out to here, down to this main area here, to the animal dealer and animal dealer sell point. Came out to the biogas plant, turned around, and now we're here at farmland number 75. For $135,180, we can purchase this, and you'll see triggers are now appearing. We have a greenhouse right over there, silo here, sleep trigger right here, wardrobe trigger right there. And again, let's go ahead and sell that off. Head just down the road to farmland, or to farm number 5. Now you'll notice that a lot of these little individual offshoots, like this one we're getting ready to show here, it's essentially that there's a main farm, which is right here. We just showed that main portion of it, and then there's like these little sub outlets to the farm itself. So this is just down the road, and it's basically allowing you to, you can purchase everything, but it's allowing you to kind of separate each purchase out to make it a little bit more manageable. And so now here, what I'm referring to as farm number 5 is $64,829. We'll go ahead and purchase, and we now have, we now have a chicken barn. We have room for 360 chickens, and we have our output of eggs here, input of feed right here. We'll go back to the map, sell that off, and right across the street, farmland number 77, that's going to be farm number 6, can purchase for $135,485. Whoops. And we scoot down the road just a little ways. We now have access to a cow barn. We'll stop right here. We have room here for 80 cows. We have our slurry output right here. We have our feed input here. And our milk trigger, I believe, is on the outside, if I can squeeze through. Right here. And that is it for this area, I believe. I believe there's a silo, yep, right here. So our input is right there, and our output is right here. So now, sell that off again, and head down the road to the next area. So now we are starting to catch up to where we originally came into the map at, which is almost center of the map. So we'll follow this around. And you can see we're starting to approach town here. Now coming up here to my left is our first kind of points of interest. We'll stop right here. Here we have the Hegelbach Cheese Dairy for $25,000. You can purchase this. And if I remember right, yep, there it is. Input here, output here. Right next door is the Schroeder Dairy for $35,000. You can purchase that. We have our input here and output right here. And then around the back, we have the Debris Crusher Sell Point. So now, continue down the road, right over here to farm number 7. Stop right here. So we were here at farmland number 77, came down the road, over to the Hegelbach Cheese Dairy, the Schroeder Dairy, and the Debris Crusher. We then go down the road right here to farmland number 79, which is $123,777. Purchase that, and now we have access to a couple of things, kind of, sort of. If we take a look, you'll see Bulk Good Haul. Normally that icon there refers to some kind of trigger. I have been inside this building. I cannot find anything on the inside. I cannot see anything on the outside that would indicate that there's any need for an actual trigger marker right here. I don't understand why it's there. But then this building is equally confusing. Shed with farm silo. Again, you see that there is a house symbol here for some reason. I don't know why. Because inside, we have a repair trigger right over here. If I go inside the building, you'll see it's an open hall, nothing too extravagant in here, but then there's a silo right here. So there's no like sleep trigger, repair. There's a repair trigger, but there's no sleep trigger that would indicate the reason why it would be labeled with a house. I don't understand why. Also, I think this is the field. No, this isn't it. Okay, it's a little further down. There's one farmland where if you purchase it, you will not be able to unpurchase it and get your money back like I've been doing this whole tour. So be aware. I think it's actually the next house. But right across the street is farmland number 81. You can purchase it for $61,614. And as you can see, we purchase it, we now have triggers. So the reason that there's a house symbol here, don't know why, but the house for it is technically right here. Sleep trigger right here, and wardrobe trigger here. Now we'll head down the road. This is going to be farm number 9. Stop right here. Let's go ahead and sell this off. Farmland number 78 for $119,410. You can see here we have a cow barn. I'm sorry, this is farm number 8. I misspoke there. So this is a cow barn. If we go here, we have the milk trigger right there. Open this gate. Feed trigger here. I believe that's the manure trigger over there. So for a manure heap. And I believe it's actually on the back side. We got a slurry trigger on the back over here. Let's see. Where is that animal symbol? Why? Oh, I forgot. It's right behind the door. There it is. Room for 45 cows. And that's it for this area. Let's go ahead and sell. This is the one. Yep. So you try and sell it. It says that there's placeable objects here that you have to get rid of first in order to be able to get your money back from the farmland purchase. So this is the only one I found where you can't really buy and sell willy-nilly like I've been doing here. Let's pull off to the side here because we have to purchase farmland number 80 for $270,931. You can see we have several icons here. We'll walk through here, and over on this side we have a pig barn right over here. Room for 25 pigs. All of our inputs for feed and water is here. Slurry output right there. A water tank right here. And up the hill right here is a cow barn. 120 cows in total. We have our feed trigger here. Manure heap trigger right here. We have our milk trigger here and slurry trigger right over here. So loads of stuff for us to have right on this farm. In relative terms, that is. So now we hop in the tractor, get turned back around, clobber the sign on the way out, and backtrack ever so slightly down the road. Now coming up here, right over here, is the Bachman Bakery for $25,000. You can purchase this. Input and output in the back. Over here. Here we have the for some reason I don't have this in my notes. So this is the pizzeria. And I see I don't have the next one in my notes either, but that is going to be the supermarket. And that is right over here. Let's see, was it... Oh, no, there, okay. Stop right here. So down this road, tucked away back here, there is the supermarket sell point. So now, hopping back in the tractor, make our way down to our next point of interest. And again, this is kind of one of those broken up farms that will allow you to kind of purchase, like micro purchase. So coming up here, we're going to start out with, let's see. So we were here at this farmland number 80 here. Came back around. We saw the pizzeria, the Bachman Bakery, as well as the supermarket sell points. We then came down to here. We're going to start out with farmland number 80. 83 right here. 121,263. This is farm number 11. Yes, farm number 11. And go ahead and purchase that. We have cows off to the side here. I believe it's over here. Yes. Room for 45 cows. Milk trigger here. Feed trigger here. Also, in this particular model, it is listed right here on the wall for various triggers. We have our straw trigger here. We have our slurry output here. Manure heap in the back. And if I remember right, did this one have storage upstairs? No, it did not. Nope. No, it did not. Okay. So that's it for this one. Let's go ahead and sell this off. And then right across the street, farmland number 82 for $296,217. Purchase that. We have a whole load of stuff over here. So starting over here in the distance, we have a fuel tank right over there. We have a sleep trigger here. Wardrobe trigger here. Silo right here. And that's it. Oh, and we have a cow barn. I completely missed that in my notes too. Okay, well, let's see. Slurry is here. Let's open this door. Milk is here. Room for 45 cows and feed is there. Now let's go ahead and sell that back. Now farmland number 84 can be purchased for $89,009. You can see a bunch of stuff pops up, so let's go ahead and check that out just down the road. So right over here. Nope. Right over here. Oh, let me go. Wardrobe trigger. Sleep trigger. And a hay barn right here. A little hay loft. So let's go ahead and sell that off. Right there is a rent train trigger. Make a right and head down the road a little ways. I do like this little underneath passing right here from the farm. I think that's pretty slick. Goes right under the train tracks right there. Now as we catch up to the main road right over here, we're going to start out by making a left, followed by an immediate left. And in the back, over here is the farmer's market sell point right here in front of me, and the lime station buy point. Head back out here. We have a rent train trigger right here. Now off to my left, over here is the Hirschlanden Sugar Inc. Production point. 40,000 to purchase. We have our output here and our input around the back right here. And then across the street is our last point of interest. This is the biomass heating plant, little cell point right here. And that's it. That is everything here on Hirschlanden. Now it's time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit torn on this one. I love the undulations. I love the landscape. The amount of flowers are a little bit much for me. There's tons of white and yellow flowers everywhere you look. It is everywhere. And it's just kind of a little overwhelming, a little kind of almost cartoonish. Not in color like I normally refer to that as, but in just the overall kind of eccentricness of the flowers. It just seems like it's a lot of flowers. But like I said, the landscape is absolutely to die for. I love it. I absolutely love the landscape. I love the kind of way that the towns and everything's kind of laid out and put it together. The amount of land that is not purchasable, though, that's a real killer for me personally. That really kills it for me, because it just makes so much of the map unusable. Now, some of the map is absolutely gorgeous, really nice to look at, but like, again, like this little area here, really nice to look at, looks very, very nice. Got this little creek that runs through, you know, the map and all that. It looks great. There's tons of beauty to behold on this map, but it's almost overshadowed by the flowers. It's almost kind of bogged down by it, and it's a shame. The amount of farms that are purchasable, the amount of lands that are purchasable, that's also a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot of areas, and you're buying a lot of little individual pieces, and you're not getting a lot that comes with them. Each of the farms are very, very small, not a lot going on them, so you're gonna have to really kind of build things up. But the problem is that there's really not the room to build things up because of the lands that are able to be purchased. Like I said, if you look around, there's good chunks of areas that are not purchasable. This whole area here in town is not purchasable. You got this farm here, farmhouse here, you got this part of the farm here and part of the farm here. Now, you can kind of build up around it, but you're going to have to recapture some of the fields here, some of the fields back here, and so on and so forth. You got these kind of smatterings of these little town buildings that are not purchasable, but you also have some here that are purchasable. So it's just just kind of learning the map and understanding what and where is purchasable, where it's not, and really planning ahead, really putting forward a lot of thought as to where you're going to build up and what you're going to build towards, not just buying something and then going from there. So yeah, it's just one of those, and I just realized there's a little farmland here, and I missed a house. So, but yeah, no, it's just one of those. I'm really, really torn on this map because the landscape is amazing, but there's just certain little things that are really kind of holding me back. The outer periphery is another one. The picture that is used on the outside. Now, when you're really far away, like what we see here in this kind of landscape that we have, that outer border picture looks fine. It looks okay, reasonable. But when you're towards the north of the map, you just see blue sky, and it just doesn't add up. Like, it just seems, I don't know, just something seems wrong. Like, there's almost like a drop off, and there's a literal drop off, but you can really kind of notice it looking up the hill there. I don't know, it doesn't look natural. It seems like it's just kind of there as a kind of placeholder. And like I said, if it wasn't for those little things, I think this would be a really solid map, and it would be really high up there. But as it stands right now, 0 to 5 scale, like I said, as per usual, what would I give this map? I'd probably give this map probably a 3 as it sits right now. If things were kind of tweaked and modified, whatnot, if the outer border was made just a little bit cleaner, or kind of blended a little bit better, so it didn't look like it was just kind of, the end of the world off to the north kind of thing. I don't know. I think that this map absolutely has potential. It absolutely does. But there's just a few little things here and there that just don't really that don't really add anything to it, that really kind of takes things away. And like I said, I understand why the map maker separated out the farms and made them kind of manageable chunks. Made them like little, buy this portion here, this portion there, so on and so forth. I get it. I understand that. It's not my favorite method personally, because it really makes it not difficult, but it overcomplicates things. So this is the house I ended up missing earlier. So sleep trigger is right here. Anything in the back? Nope, nothing in the back. So yeah, just a little house on this portion of the map. So yeah, no, it's just one of those, like I said, it's just not necessarily a map that I'm going to go running off to and, you know, be really excited about playing. Like I said, this is a great example. Actually, right here is perfect. You see all these flowers in the meadows here, and I didn't even notice this from the tractor. But there's bunches of colors like purples and these kind of tealy greens here. Outside the yellows and whites really stick out. Those ones really stick out, and I'm only just now noticing the purples and stuff. Again, it just makes it look really, really cartoonish. Like, and that's the first time I've really said it without it being a direct representation of colors. But I think that if the flowers were kind of toned down and whatnot, even made a little bit more sporadic, it would really help bring out the looks of the fields and of the land itself. But that's just my opinion. That's kind of a take it or leave it kind of thing. But that's how I feel about it. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy doing. It shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.